All right, so now that the holidays are finally out of the way, I've been wanting to do a little video on this new Sahara seat that I've gotten for my 2023 Royal Enfield Scram 411. So before I get too much into the review on this seat, I'm going to insert a video that I did about 6 weeks ago on another seat that I purchased out of India. Yeah, you'll watch the video, and in short, what I'm going to tell you is anytime you buy something of value that you paid a fair price for, in this case it was a seat, which are kind of big and bulky, if you're not happy with it, yes, they'll tell you that they will refund you your money, which they will. However, you have to pay for shipping, which I was not aware it would be that much. We went round and round with these guys, and first they offered me, they said, well, take it to any seat repair shop and we'll pay for it. I'm like, it's not a matter of repair, it's a poor quality seat. There was things on there that you did not show in your eBay ad, and so now I'm stuck with it. Then they offered me $30 and I keep the seat, $40 and I keep the seat, $50 and I keep the seat, $60 in final offer, that's all we're going to do for you. I'm like, I have no use for a seat that I'm going to turn around and sell to somebody else. So I sucked up the $91 to ship back a $187 seat to get my money back. So I'm not going to mention the name of the company that I bought it from. If you want to private message me through Messenger, I'll give you the name. But I don't want to lower myself to their level by, putting them out on YouTube like that, even though they kind of deserve it. I'm not going to do that. So watch the video, and then we will get into this seat here and what you need to know. All right, so this is a quick video for the Royal Enfield Scram 411 seat that I purchased off eBay out of India. Bunch of quick facts, go through it real quick. It weighs 6.5 pounds, which is 2 pounds heavier than the stock seat was, okay? You can also tell by looking at it that it does sit quite a bit higher. I put it on my bike just momentarily, and it's definitely more comfortable. You don't realize how uncomfortable and how hard this seat is until you sit on this one. Unfortunately, I am sending it back. I've replaced it with a Sahara seat, which will be here sooner or later. This one through eBay, and I won't mention the name of the seller because there's a bunch of them out there. They're all very similar. Was $189 out the door. Free shipping, like $13 in tax. It came finished price $189. The Sahara seat was $251. The Sahara seat comes with what I believe, by looking at the picture on their website, you have an option between a metal backing or a plastic backing, and from what I could tell from the tiny picture, it looks to be the same backing as this. So here's my gripe. Here is the stock seat, and you can see how they're put in with staples. They use plastic. It's got the plastic mount here. It's got 2 rubber mounts here. It's got 2 rubber mounts here, 2 here, and 2 there. On the seat that I purchased, which they don't give you any of this information. First of all, looking at the finished work, I don't know what's up with that, but I don't like it. I think that this whole thing is supposed to be held down with an adhesive, and it looks like this just didn't take. The few wrinkles in there would have not been an issue for me. That wouldn't have bothered me, but that does. That's noticeable. You see it, and it would bother me every time I got on the bike. So we're going to flip it over. Here was my biggest gripe, is the workmanship. Yeah, I don't know, maybe for $200 this is what you get, but when I got it back here at the back of the seat, this is still wet and sticky. It's like they used spray paint to cover up their glue job, and then they sealed it up in the plastic wrap, which, as you can see, there's still paint on the plastic wrap, so it wasn't even dry. And they wrapped it up. I can see it's already starting to tear right there. The workmanship is just really, really poor, in my opinion. Like I said, it looks like they got glue all over the place, and then they hit it with black spray paint to cover it up. It's just really slopped on. It's just a metal tang here that was welded with some pretty lousy looking welds. This right here, if you look, this right here is supposed to be back here somewhere. Now you can take on your bike, you can take the little mechanism that locks. It looks like it just unbolts and will relocate to this location. There's bolt holes there and it looks like it would line right up. If that was the only issue, I would have had no problem doing that, but it looks like in order to have the proper pads in here, you have to pull them out of here, out of your old seat, and put them into these holes possibly. There was no instructions at all that came with this. No information at all to tell you any of this stuff. I just thought that, and this is just a sheet metal that was bent. It is actually arched right here all the way around. It curves up all the way around, but again, you can see right here, it's already starting to fail. It's already torn. Like I said, just really poor quality. So I'm hoping that the Sahara seat that comes in will be of much higher quality, and it will have this same scoop to the seat that this one does. This seat does sit considerably higher than the stock seat, so be aware of that for sure. You can see right now it's literally probably in solid inch higher, but I'm willing to give up that if I can get that arched back and I feel like I can sitting flat. I sat on this for just a minute. As soon as I went back to this, it was like, oh my God, this seat, the stock scram seat, is so uncomfortable. So also the back of it, if the rest of them are designed like this, has a nice flat back to it, a little bit wider than the stock seat does. This is a little bit more rounded and a little bit more narrow. This one is definitely wider and more flat. So if you were going to put a duffel bag or something on the back right there, you have a little bit more of a working surface to work off of. Also, on the scram tank, there is like a plastic peel-off cover on the tank that goes right here where the front of the seat comes up and matches it. With this seat, it sits flat, so you're going to end up with a piece of plastic on your tank that comes up that you're either going to have to look at or peel it off or something. So I will update when the new seat comes in, and there it is. I hope this information helped somebody out. Okay, thanks a lot. All right, so you saw the video, you saw the quality, yada, yada, yada. Again, be careful what you buy. I ended up buying the Sahara seat, which out the door with tax, free shipping, I think was $261 or $267. Had I known the quality and difference, I would have never purchased that first one. I would have gone straight to Sahara seat. So there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the beginning because they were in the middle of changing their websites, and I kind of got lost in the shuffle, but they eventually got me my seat. I like it. We're going to go take a look at the quality and a couple things you need to know about putting this on your bike. So, looking at it right now, the one in the back there is the stock seat, which is a cool looking seat, but it is really uncomfortable compared to that right there. I had it on my bike and it makes all the difference in the world. So you do sit a little bit higher, which I'm willing to give that up. That's fine with me. And it might not look as sporty and as cool as the old style seat, but I think it's fine. I love it. So here's the big thing. Now you saw that other video with the bottom side of that other seat. Here's the bottom side of the Sahara seat. Okay, you can see much better quality. That other one was a metal pan. This is some sort of like a fiber, I don't know if it's fiberglass or what they made it out of, but it's super lightweight. And I had the weights. I think this one is, oh man, a little bit heavier than the stock seat, but quite a bit heavier than that other one because that other one had a metal pan. This one is some sort of a fiberglass that's underneath this this felt material. So the stock seat, bottom of it looks like this. So there's the stock seat, which is just a plastic, and there's a stapled in, as you can see. So here's the big thing that you're going to need to know. If you look on the stock seat, you see these mounting bumpers. There's two there. There's two here. There's two here. There's two here. A lot of seats that you buy probably are going to come like this one with nothing at all. It did have these two little things right here that were mounted, one there and one here. They didn't do anything. They weren't high enough. There was still a huge gap between that point and the contact point on the bottom of the bike. Also, you'll notice that the mounting, whatever you want to call this, on the scram is farther back than it is than what they send you. I thought that was going to be a problem in the beginning, but lo and behold, it's not a problem at all. So let's walk over, take a look at the bike, and I'll show you what I speak of. So, on the stock scram, that bolt that was there before mounted right here. And this was right there. All I did was disconnect these two screws right here, move it back, and screw them back in again. Now there is a bit of an arc in this cable, a pretty tight arc. I went on ahead and spent the $20-something and bought the Himalayan cable, which for the Himalayan cable, because the Himalayans mount right here, I'm hoping that cable will be shorter and it will come up out of here and it will go right straight across or close to it. It won't be, I mean, it still works, as you can see. But that is a pretty tight arc, and it has to bend pretty sharp and fit underneath my tool bag. And I figured, you know what, I spent $260 on a seat. I'll spend the extra $20 and get the cable. So now, for mounting the seat, what I had to do was I had to create mounting, I don't know what you call them, whatever you want to call them, these things. I went to the hardware store. I started off buying a couple of these, and I used, as per recommended from the research I did, I used the Loctite brand super glue, which is, I forget the name of it. It's the chemical name, but it's basically Loctite professional grade super glue. And when you put these things down, they stick immediately. And it said that this was best for rubber to steel, and that's what I used. And I practiced a couple of them. I glued two of them together, and I couldn't get them apart. So we'll see how they do, rubber to metal. Hopefully they'll work okay. So I put two big ones that I got. I got these at the hardware store, and it's just a solid rubber stopper. These other ones, as you see, there's two here, there's two here, and there's two here. And what I had to do was I had to put the seat on here and then go through and put layers of these things in. I bought these on Amazon, and they were 1/4 inch by 1 inch rubber washers, spacers I think they call them. And then I went to the hardware store and I bought some 1 inch by, I don't know, 1/8 inch I think, rubber washers, so that I had different heights to get what I needed. So I put the seat in here, and then I started stacking washers, and I put the seat back in very carefully to see where the washers would sit, because what happens without any of these spacers in here, when you put the seat on, it kind of will go up and down just a little bit, and it would kind of rock around. And so it was sitting on nothing but this being pressed in here, and I think it sat on part of the body up here. I'm not sure. At any rate, I got it where I put it in there. I can push it down nice and hard, and it sits in there. Matter of fact, I could probably do that, since I think the glue is pretty well dry now. Let's see if I can do this with one hand with a cell phone in my hand. See if we can make this work. Let's just see here. Okay, right there. and lock. There it is. So that is it on the bike, locked in. There's no play anywhere. Those washers that are down underneath, you can't see them, but they're down there. You just have to play with it till you get them spaced to where that seat sits just tight enough to lock it into position. Now, we'll see how long that super glue on those things holds up. I tried E6000 and Shugu, and they could both come apart if you pulled hard enough. Loctite seemed to be the way to go. So there it is, everything you need to know. Way more comfortable than the stock seat. The stock seat, I don't understand why Royal Enfield doesn't redesign their seat. It's horribly uncomfortable. I mean, you plan on riding for more than about 20 or 30 minutes, your butt will be hurting. And this is so much more comfortable. You do sit a little tiny bit higher, but the bike already sits at, I think, 31-inch seat height. So it's fine. So there it is. I hope this video helped a little bit. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the video below, or in the boxes, comments below, and I'll see what I can do to answer them for you. Okay? Thank you so much.